What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Next Wave podcast. I'm one of your hosts, B. Zanny, joined by my co-host, D. Woody. And today we've got another great episode in store for you. Going to discuss some quick hitters to start us off, go through this past weekend of the CDL, and then wrap up with pick in bands as our coins segment. Going to be another great episode. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get straight to it. All right, Dak, we got another question to start off this episode.
Okay.
You get the chance to go back to age 12, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have no knowledge of our current state, like nothing past 12. And you don't have any knowledge like beforehand, like you're 12 years old.
MW3.
You're fresh.
This is MW3 right now.
Correct. Yeah, you're fresh. You don't have any knowledge of MW2, you don't have any knowledge of anything before either. Like you just spawned in at 12 years old with those existing those games exist. Everything exists as it was, but you're a noob.
Okay.
You just got your new console, or maybe you got a PC at the time. You get to play one game during this flashback. You get to play one game. What game are you reliving at age 12? What game are you reliving for the first time?
I mean, it's still got to be Halo 3.
Really?
Yeah, that game that first time playing is crazy, bro. You in the jungle.
It is.
Cortana's flashing at you and shit. I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, this game is fucking sick.
It is pretty cool. My immediate thought was Gears 2.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
My favorite story of all time. Just an insane campaign. But I'm also thinking about just shit that like changed the game, like Skate 3.
Yeah.
Like Skate 3 would be cool to play for the first time again. And then obviously Halo and Skyrim and
Skyrim 2011.
It was definitely before we were 13 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, in 20, I mean, you had Black Ops 2, MW. No, you didn't have Black Ops 2 yet.
Nah, not yet. Damn, BO2 would have been the one for sure.
BO2 would have been good, but that's why I said 12 though. I was trying to remember. I cut it off for a certain reason. I couldn't remember.
Dude, honestly, experiencing MW3 for the first time again would be sick. I loved that campaign.
It's an amazing
campaign.
Yeah,
with Makarov.
At the end hanging?
Yeah, Yuri and
that
all the
opening mission, bro.
Soap
you're
dies.
In France or whatever, and you get bombed. Your daughter just gets blown up.
Yeah, dude. Damn.
That shit was gruesome, bro.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. MW2 was crazy. COD 4, I want to play for the first time again.
Billy in the Mist.
Yeah.
For the first time again.
Yeah, dude.
I think I am gonna go Gears 2 though. I think that's my final.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Halo 3, but there are some games for sure.
I think that's good. Like if you asked 1,000 people our age, they would. I bet 900 of them would say Halo 3.
Yeah.
But like just for me, like I got a console after that game, unfortunately, and so like I was playing co-op like at my buddy's house, so it wasn't as crazy for me. Or else, I think that's the best pick.
Yeah, Gears 2 is fire. Gears 2 was so good though. Whenever we replayed that recently, like. The cinematics and the cutscenes were so much better than I remember. Yeah. Like that shit was a movie in itself, and that was 2010, 2011, 2009 maybe. No, it was Gears 1 2009. No, Gears 1 was like 06 or 7.
Yeah, no, Gears 2 was like 08,
yeah,
09.
Yeah, so that game was way ahead of its time. That shit was sick.
Very much so. Very much so. But yeah, that was our opening question. I saw it on TikTok or Twitter, and I was like, well, we'll use this. I can't remember if they did 12 years old or not though.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what they did or I pulled it out my ass. But let's get into some quick hitters here. We're excited for next week because speaking of Skyrim and games from that age, Oblivion is getting remastered.
I can't wait for that. So it's Unreal Engine 5. They apparently fully reworked archery. I guess it's going to be good in that game. I don't know if it was bad in the original because I just hack and slash the whole time, but
Yeah, I'm not an archer in these kind of
What
games.
else did they change? I forget what else was changed mechanically, but it's still going to be the same game. The graphics look really good.
Yeah, they do.
And I've always loved that game more than Skyrim because I like the world better. Like, it's like more fantasy, Lord of the Rings-esque. I don't know. It's like true fantasy.
Historically.
Like, yeah. Like, Skyrim to me was like more Nordic, like snowy mountains and shit. Yeah. So I think it's going to be sick. I can't wait to play it. I haven't played that game in so long. And there's like tons of legendary weapons to get, and they have their own Dark Brotherhood quest line.
What does that mean?
It's like the hooded people, and you can like become an assassin. Basically, it's a really fun quest line in Skyrim as well.
Okay.
It's like a faction that you can join.
Yep.
And then they have the Colosseum, where you can just work your way up the ranks in the Colosseum and, you know, become the champion or whatever. And there's
versus
like a
NPCs.
huge crowd. Yeah, versus NPCs. There's like a huge crowd, and there's like funny ass characters you meet there. Like, it's a really fun game, so I'm excited for that.
That was one of those games that I rented from Blockbuster for a day and don't remember anything from it.
Yeah, that's a game you got to grind.
Yeah,
especially when we were young. I was so bad the first time I played it. Oh, and I didn't even mention the Oblivion gates. Like, you literally have to go in and close these Oblivion gates and go to hell and like slay all these demonic creatures, and it was like low-key scary back in the day when I was a little kid playing it. So I'm excited to see that in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, that shit's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be way
sick.
more fluid and shit.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be good. In other news, Marvel Rivals Season 2 is out. We've been steady playing that game this whole time. We got Mommy Emma Frost in the game. Let's just go ahead and get this discussion out of the way. They NetEase are some fucking freaks, dude.
Yeah,
they
man.
love it. They're trying to groom some gooners like on this game, bro. Like,
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think there's too many little kids playing this game, bro. It's fucking Marvel. Like, you got little 10-year-olds gooning into these fucking skins.
I mean this in the least derogatory way possible because it is factual, but if you look at like Chinese produced games that are like, you know, mainly popular in China, they're all like damn near hentai.
That's like, crazy.
They're like 2 steps away from being hentai porn. Like,
this is a gateway
shred
for
less
sure.
of clothing.
Yeah, this is a gateway for sure.
They probably have another brand under the NetEase umbrella that is some sort of anime or hentai shit.
So be careful out there if you're a parent. Your kid gonna get
if your kid's playing Marvel Rivals, it's not like he's running around as Iron Man and Spider-Man. Yeah. No, he's rocking around as Thunder fucking Pineapple Emma on the battlefield. Yeah, Pineapple Brat Emma. But yeah, the new map is new map's good. The battle pass is absolute gas.
Fire.
They went nuts.
I got the Psylocke skin at lunch today. Fire.
Nice.
Great skin. Nice. Should have been in the store. I think it's so good.
I'm most excited for Ultron coming here in a couple weeks, the 25th or something like that.
Yeah. How do you feel about him being a healer?
That makes no fucking sense.
I know. I thought he would just be a high DPS freak or even a tank.
I thought he'd be a tank.
Yeah,
I thought he'd be a tank. But then, when I saw Emma Frost was a tank, I was like, okay, he's gonna be a DPS. But yeah, that makes 0 sense to me. Because in the comics and in the movies, he's the last thing from a. Yeah, he's just a he's just a wrecker. So like, I'm so confused.
You know, they're saying Deadpool's probably gonna come to the game eventually. Like, what if they made Deadpool a healer? Like, that's the same type of shit. I'd be like, what are you doing?
The dude who can heal himself. He just heals himself at all times. He just has continuous regen. Okay. But I'm hoping they kind of make him like Rocket, but the healing is more secondary than it is primary on Rocket. Which that makes no sense. What I just said makes 0 sense. Like, he'd be the worst healer in the game, and he might as well be a DPS. That's just because like he should be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just hope he has good DPS options. You know, like you can drop like 5k damage with Ultron.
Do we think Iron Man's gonna be the only team up, or do we think he has a Wanda team up because he kind of manipulated her?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I feel like
Speaking
Iron
of
Man's.
Wanda team ups, holy shit, she is good this season.
Yeah.
I was getting shit on by her and Strange's team up today. And then
Strange's ego is crazy.
Namor has new turrets with Hulk. They're so good.
Yep.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're laser beams, literally.
Yeah. What else
Literal
changed?
laser beams.
The team up with Emma Frost, Psylocke, and Magneto. Magneto and Psylocke get like a clone of themselves that shoot with you and distracts people. Pretty good team up. So it's kind of fun so far. I played one game of ranked and we got slammed. So that's my only experience there so far. But overall W season. Yeah,
new map seems cool. Only has domination on it as we've experienced so far, I think. But regardless, it was good. And then we have some Rocket League news.
Yeah, that boy Retals. I don't know if it was like mutual I should leave or if they were just like Magic Bear and Cheese were like, yeah, this ain't working. Because they were about to disband this offseason and then they ran it back. Obviously, they made a god run to make it to the major, but then they didn't make it out of Swiss. So they broke up. Retals went to Shopify Rebellion in place of Justin. And now it's Retals, Two Piece, and Parth. They could be really nasty. Retals might be the one to get them on track there.
To right the ship.
I don't know what Justin's doing. Because it was saying maybe he's going to just take Retals' spot. It was like a 1-for-1 trade. But I haven't seen any announcements on his end or Gen G's end, so I don't know yet.
Interesting.
But I mean, if he goes to Gen G, that's more offensive power for them. And I think Retals brings like more of structured defense that they needed because they were sloppy. Like they would, at times with Justin on Shopify, they would look like insane and they'd be scoring at will. And then when they play like a really good team, they would just be sloppy as fuck and it just got bad. So I think Retals will honestly help that team a lot. I'm excited to see what they do. Hopefully they make a major because Two Piece and Parth are nasty.
Yeah, hopefully we see some good looks out of them. Well, my favorite team is now Shopify Rebellion.
Yep.
So
what's their slogan? They have a slogan.
I have no Rebel. I don't know.
Yeah, something
Rebel, if I had to guess. But our last quick hitter here is taking a look at HCS Arlington. So we have HCS Arlington, then we have the DreamHack Dallas event, which is going to be with the COD event. But this is going to be at the esports arena, or
I don't know. Yeah, I assume
so.
I think it's at the esports arena.
No way they're selling out the
Bailey
the credit union.
No, that's where DreamHack is.
Allen Credit Union Center or whatever, Credit Union of Texas. So yeah, we've seen obviously in Shopify getting brought up again. They've been, they won the last one again over OpTic. It's just literally every finals in the online series has been them in OpTic, and OpTic took the first one and hasn't taken one since, I don't believe. So Shopify are going in as the number 1 seed, OpTic as the 2 seed, and I think we're just going to see both of them in the finals unless someone makes a god run or one of those teams just doesn't show up on late Saturday, early Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And OpTic has the best pool as far as
by far.
Yeah, getting out of pools. I was watching the Halo pod, the drop pod, unofficially named the OpTic Halo pod. Today they dropped an episode, or yesterday, and they were saying that they just kind of rolled out there and said like, fuck it, let's just play like the first month or so. And it's only been like 2 weeks where they've really been watching VOD and like trying to think about how they want to play the game. So he said they're really Formal said they're really improving now and getting ready for LAN. So I'm interested to see if that changes anything.
Yeah, that's dope. That's insane. Honestly, they win second until they start reviewing VOD.
I mean, they are a god squad, so if they can get it together.
Yeah, they're goated. I mean, that Shopify squad's godlike too. I mean, Cycle and Last Shot are gross.
Yeah,
so.
But it's gonna be interesting.
Yep, excited to watch that. Is that this weekend or next weekend?
This weekend.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Well, going back to this past weekend, let's go ahead and jump into our COD matches from this past weekend. Starting us off, I'm scrolled way too far down. Wait.
Oh, I'm not on completed. Starting with OpTic.
Starting with OpTic versus Miami. Miami come out and take this one 3-1. OpTic was able to take the control 3-2. But other than that, it was a good series from Miami. 250 to 150, 6-4, and then 250 to 202 in the last map. Tough series for the ARs. It really was the difference. You can see on the scoreboard here. The ARs just got smoked for the side of OpTic, and then Super and Rancor were going crazy. Super ends up with the most kills at 94 and a 1.31.
Damn.
He's making a case for being the best S&D player in the game as well. He dropped 16 to tie the record for this title in this series.
Yeah, that's insane.
Him and Ghosty at 16. And I'm pretty sure his overall KD is like high ones, probably close to a 2 right now in S&D. So he's been a really good change for them, as we'll see in their next match as well. But OpTic obviously started out 2-0. They beat Rocker and C9. The C9 win was very, very impressive. But granted, C9 haven't looked amazing.
Yeah, they're just so like.
Mac has fallen off.
When they're bad, they're really bad, and then like when they're good, they're like could beat a mid pack team.
The Night Horse,
but that's about it.
Dark Horse.
Night Horse.
But yeah, we'll take a look at that match.
No, I think their Dark Horse days are over, but
Miami looks real good with this super change, and for OpTic, Hook with a 1.0, Shotzi with, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at map 2. Shotzi with a 1.0 and Hook with a 1.09. You like to see it, but then you look at the other side and see that it was just their SMGs they were killing for the most part. Their ARs were killing everyone on the map, and just able to set their team up in positions where even if Shotzi or Hook came in and did get a blood on one of their subs, it was getting traded out immediately because their ARs allowed everyone else to get into position, and their ARs just had good positioning themselves to where they could trade and just look over in certain situations. So I was also surprised to see a bang out on Vault. Obviously, it's OpTic's best map, but with the newer Miami team, I'm surprised they chose to go with one of OpTic's best maps. But it worked out in their favor. They freaking smoked them.
Skies.
So yeah,
stinky.
Sky's still struggling. We'll talk about some more stuff in the next match here. But yeah, OpTic started off the weekend 0-1, and Miami improved to 2-0.
Vamos.
And then looking at the next match, we had Gentlemates versus Surge. This one was a 3-0. Granted, the maps were somewhat close. You had a 250, 207, 6-3, and a 3-2. This was a crazy series on the side of Surge, as to where Nasty was just chilling, kind of getting shit on, and then everyone else went nuclear. 04 1.3, Abuza 1.34, Neptune 1.2, and then Lunar's the only one positive on the side of LAG. I do see this LAG team getting better on land simply because of Fellow and Kismet. And we know, O'Johnny went 50-8 in challengers on land, so we'll see how they perform. But I hope they're better on land just to make things interesting, just not against OpTic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vancouver still looking solid. They're definitely still solidified in that top 4 team right now, and they get a clean 3-0.
I like LAG. Like, they're not as bad as they were, but I just still feel like they're too slow with Fellow and Lunars, and they're just not getting enough kills. O'Johnny's good, and we'll get to him in the next series. I believe he went absolutely insane, if I recall. But I don't know. I don't see them doing anything, honestly. Maybe they'll beat like a C9, maybe give them a series on LAN or something, but I don't know. They'll probably just lose out.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. It's either they turn into their team from last year, who was just so much better on LAN, or they just continue looking subpar. So we'll see at Major 3. Getting into the last match of Friday, we had the Carolina Royal Ravens going up against the Minnesota Rocker. This one went all the way down to a Game 5, Round 11. Who's surprised? Minnesota is always in the Game 5. They have played the most Game 5s. I think they've gone including their second match in the, over this weekend. I think they've gone to 13 map 5s.
That's
And keep in
insane.
mind, they played 7 matches the first time, call it, and then 7 matches the second time, that's 14. And then they've played 4 so far here. That's 18 matches. Throw in the minor and the 2 majors. Let's call it, I don't know, 23.
Yeah.
So 13 of their 23 matches, which it could be less than that, have gone to Game 5. So
this is crazy.
Over a 50% chance that they're going to Game 5. So they end up losing this one in the round 11. But what was interesting about this is they smoke them on the Skyline control, 250 to 101. They get smoked in the S&D. They go to a round 5 and clutch up in the vault control, go down to the wire in the Hacienda, and then down to the wire in the map 5. So this was just an up and down series overall. Estriel had a tough series here today. The only one negative on the side of Rocker, as they did, lose both searches. So, you're going to see some positives out of Minnesota as they took 2 of the respawns. So, on the other side of things, Gwen, the only one positive. What's new?
Shocker.
Gwinternet. But Tej and Vivid had solid series, and then Slasher with a tough one there. But hey, they got the dub, so that's all that matters.
I think Minnesota's just got to start closing maps out. They choked the hard point, and then obviously they haven't really been winning these late searches. They only won 1, so it's an ice thing right now. They're getting there, but they just
Kenny
need to
said
close.
He's getting gray hairs and shit, so. But we'll have some more subject matter to discuss with the Ravens here when we get into their second match. But getting into the first game on Saturday, which is the most surprising game of the weekend, Miami take down FaZe 3-1. FaZe moved to 1-1 on the weekend after this match, or on the split after this match. But 3-1 was not something we expected. FaZe came out and took the map 1 vault, and from there, I was thinking, okay, 3-0, 3-1. And then Miami rattled off 3 in a row. They win round 11, the map 2. They smoke them. I rewatched it on the control, 3-1, clinical. And then they take the red card, 250 to 220. So, a lot of people are thinking, like, is Miami the real deal right now? Like, was this an off day for FaZe, or is Miami really that good right now?
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, just if you think about Lucky, he was bad, dude.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you get a top 3 at the first major, you're going to stick with that team. So I don't blame them for not dropping him necessarily, but he was bad, dude. Mm-hmm. He was slow and unreliable in search. And so, looking at this is seeing all the green on that side and seeing, super consistently putting up some numbers for this team. It's a clear advantage where kills and pace is so important in a game like this. And on the other side of things, you have a Beezy who was fucking sprinting, it looks like, as he went 76 and 104. But Celium, the only one positive on their side, putting down damage, had no help.
You think Cell sees that they're going to lose the series and he's like, I got to stay positive. My team's getting shit on. I'm just going to save my stats.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. But it really is just like his play style and his ability to stay alive. And he's really good at playing his life, but maybe sometimes you'd like to see him throw his life away in certain scenarios. But it's hard when you're the slowest player on your team, and you're that nasty with an iron up. So it is what it is. But Miami go to 3-0 on the series. They're currently tied for the 1 seed, I believe, which we'll get to.
Damn.
But they're looking really good right now. Unless did 100 Thieves lose this? Yes. So we'll get to that. But Miami looking good. We'll see if they can keep it up. What does the rest of their schedule look like? Let's see. Matches, they play Rocker and Ultra. So based on how they're currently playing, that's upcoming. Yeah. Rocker and Ultra. So based on how they're currently playing, they can definitely beat Rocker. I think Rocker might stack up pretty well with them just because of pace.
Yeah.
But Ultra is looking really good right now. That should be a really good match. So.
Yeah, I mean, they beat OpTic and FaZe on the same weekend, but if they beat Ultra too, then I'm super high on Miami. Get them to Sunday.
Give me my Vamos bucks. I'm reinvesting. Then we get into the second match of Saturday, which is another surprise. No surprise. Vegas versus OpTic.
Oh. Wait.
What? What are you looking at?
I was looking at Boston. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
You jumping ahead, man. Vegas take down OpTic 3-1. This one was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Dashi, the only one positive with a 1.09. Everyone else negative, especially Shotzi. Shotzi did not have a good series. There were numerous times where he just threw his life in crucial scenarios, was predicting timings wrong, and just making really, really incompetent pushes. And people are saying that his playstyle is a detriment in this game, where normally you might say it's 50-50, or in last title it was really good and the dynamic, but people are thinking that his playstyle is more detrimental than ever in this game. So they're also saying that Dashi might be in hell the way that they're running around the map, him and Hook. Causing a little too much chaos for someone who's trying to anchor and stabilize the game to a sense from a main AR position. I mean, he had the most damage in the lobby by a good margin, and they still lost considerably. The only thing they won was a round 11 in the search, so it had to get as close as possible for them to win a map. So, but to give some credit to Vegas, Priesta and Arcides had a great series, which was really, really weird to see. Priesta looked like he was moving different. Arcides was winning a lot more fights with the second most damage in the lobby. Personally, I'm not gonna expect this. I think they also had the chip on their shoulder for Pred and everything, and they were just gassed up because it was OpTic. I do not see this Arcides Priesta duo continuing to find success like this, even against these, Rockers and Miamis and C9s. Like I don't see them even doing against them. It's more obvious against the top four, but I think it's just a one-off with Pred being hype and trying to get the win for Pred and all that. So.
And I think OpTic was in their own heads, or at least Shotzi was, for sure.
Yeah, he was trying to do too much, for sure.
I remember early in the season in MW3, we would always talk about how Shotzi just can't stand still. Like, when he needs to just play his life or play a corn or something, he would just fucking jump out and die at the worst times. And I feel like we're right back to that now. And the worse the team gets, the more he tries to compensate for it and go make crazy-ass plays. And it's just messing everything up.
Yeah, and Shotzi said, whenever they picked up Skies, even, a few after the major with Skies, they said, we're not changing. This is, we're sticking with this roster no matter what. And then we saw some tweets, some leaks, I don't know, that they might be seeking a buyout for Joe Deceives.
Yeah, I don't know if that was
which would be
this year or next year for next season.
Yeah, I'm not too. Well, there's no roster lock yet.
Yeah, and they've said that they're keeping this team no matter what this year, so it's got to be for next season. And there's, Ultra.
That can change.
I'm Ultra, I'm fucking.
That can change.
Yeah, I guess. If it's a fat buyout and money's money, but
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, man.
I don't see them giving him up. Obviously, he's been a top 3 sub in this game, so I really don't see them letting him go. So
yeah,
we'll see.
If next year is like this year, bro, I don't see. It doesn't matter who OpTic gets. I don't see it getting much better.
Yeah, we're gonna need to pull a Thieves and get a super team in the off season.
Yeah.
Make it work. So, OpTic continue to struggle. Need to see a bounce back from them.
You think they miss champs? Let's see the standings.
They're tied for like 8th right now, or 7th or something.
They are 8th, and they're 25 points ahead of 9th, so they're probably chilling.
So they got a little bit of cushion, but they're not safe by any means.
But the first 4 teams out are Vegas, LAG, Minnesota, and Cloud9.
Yep.
So
I can definitely see Minnesota making it out. If Breach struggle and Cloud9 struggle,
it's gonna take Breach.
Definitely see that.
It's gonna take Breach or Miami, which Miami's looking like they're incredible right now. But Breach, Miami, and Boston, or OpTic, Miami, and Boston all have 130 points, and then Cloud9 has 105. Minnesota has 100. So it's gonna take an insane run from C9 in Minnesota, and it's gonna take an insane collapse from Boston or OpTic.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that Ravens still have that many points is bad.
Yeah, man, honestly. They really got some cushion with the old minor performances they had.
and the early online wins when they were kind of like ahead of people.
I mean,
before everyone caught up.
They've been doing great online all year, I feel like.
The last stage wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
I think they went 3-4 or 4-3, so it wasn't like the best.
Yeah.
But like they got 5 wins the first one, I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, looking, what were we talking about? Oh, the standings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rocker has an avenue of doing it. I think they're better than Cloud9. So if they get the right matchups at the major and are able to get some wins online in Major 4 qualifiers, I think there's a chance. It all depends on how, in my opinion, Boston does and Miami continues to perform.
Yeah.
So, getting into the next match on Saturday, we had Breach versus Gentlemates, or LAG. This one was kind of a snoozer. The map 2 went to round 11 for the side of Gentlemates, and then other than that, some close maps, but it overall was just boring gameplay in general, no crazy moments or anything like that. But Gentlemates in the map 2 went crazy. They were down 5-1 and won 5 straight. So other than that, was kind of a snoozer of a series, but that was pretty impressive from the side of Gentlemates. What? I just got a full screen ad.
I just saw you get flashbanged.
I got a full screen ad for a machete.
That was insane.
It was a fucking machete ad. But yeah, Boston take this one 3-1. They improved to 2-1 overall in the qualifiers.
Oh boy.
Oh, Johnny was
100 kills. He was going crazy.
Yeah, he was going pretty stupid there.
But Lunars, man, he's Skies 2.0 for this team, bro. Every series, lowest engagements, just slow as can be, and that's just not.
That's what we thought of him initially.
Not the game for it, man. This is just not the game for it.
No, it's not. We'll see. Maybe he kicks up on LAN, but he's got to pick up the pace a little bit there. Getting the last series of Saturday, we had C9 New York going up against the LA Thieves. The map one was somewhat close at 200 to 250, but then Thieves kicked their feet up and won 6-2, 3-1 in the next 2 maps. Frimp was going absolutely stupid this series and had zero help whatsoever. Mac, another absolute stinker. He fucking sucks, dude. Get him off the team, bro. How do you not go? I mean, obviously, you chose the money, but like, if they didn't offer Pred, if they didn't even think about it or offer him as people were, thinking, then they fucked up big time.
Yeah. But
yeah, really good series from Hydra.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's really good at this game, and he's super consistent at S&D, but no team help in this series. So Thieves make quick work of them. Hydra, the MVP, went crazy, and Thieves moved to 2-1. They get that Thieves. They move to 2-1. They do play again here later, where that one loss comes into play. But our first series on Saturday was Rocker versus C9 New York. Like I said earlier, I still think Rocker's a better team. Unfortunately, they get reverse swept in this series. They take the first 2. And then get 3-0'd in the control, and that was a huge momentum swing as they ice up in the red card hardpoint and take the Hacienda 6-4. Unlike the last match where Estrel was the only one negative, he was the only one positive in this map. He was going crazy, honestly, winning some crazy fights. But on the other side of things, Sib had a really good series, and Crimp another really good series. Mac the only one negative on the series. So Cloud9 pick up a big win, especially for the standings, as they're 5 points ahead of Rocker now. As we just saw. So the race is getting very, very tight. It always is every year. So it's getting fun. But Rocker fall 3-2.
But Crimp made the play to win the game in Hacienda Search game 5. He had a crazy finesse 3-piece. He was just moving all around A-bomb and won them the map. And once again, Rocker choked the fuck out of map 4 hardpoint to send it to map 5, and they damn near go to another round 11. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they're just tweaking in the big moments, because they do all the work and get right there, and then it's tweak time. So
it's tweak time. It happens. They need to get a grip on these ice situations, because it just continues to bite them in the ass. They need to get that
But at the end of the day, like, they've played so many maps this split. Like, that's good experience, especially in nerve-wracking moments. And they got Kenny on their team now to get them through that type of shit. So they could
still early in that, though.
Yeah, they could make a decent run at the major. But they're probably going to start at losers. They're probably going to start in losers.
Probably, yeah. 2 wins is needed for the major, or for winners. And then obviously, some tiebreakers there.
And Minnesota plays Miami next week, so rip.
Oof. Then we get into the Sunday matches, or the second Sunday match, sorry. We had the Vancouver Surge going up against the Carolina Royal Ravens. This was a weird series. Yeah. You had the Ravens taking the first 2 maps pretty convincingly, and then the Surge just smoked them the next 3 for a sick reverse sweep. Slasher had a really good series, the only one positive on the side of Carolina, and then 04.99, the only one negative, with Nasty having a crazy series with a 1.32. He was shooting, playing his life well. And on the other side of things, Vivid had a absolute stinker, 0.63.
You think he knew?
And then he had to.
You think Vivid knew? I think he knew. I don't know,
but what Dak is referring to is the fact that they ended up dropping, putting out a tweet the next day on Monday that he has been dropped for Dylan Rex, who has been under the microscope for the next up-and-coming player since the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to see Dylan Rex on a good squad if he's able to be more consistent and get more kills than Vivid, then this team will have some dangerous effects. But yeah. I just don't know why it takes so long, man.
I know.
Like, to make these changes. Like, I get the Kenny falling through part, but laying down and saying, okay, well, we're fucked, instead of just getting Dylan Rex to begin the stage.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's where you're trolling.
Yeah,
that's where you're trolling.
Because that had to have fucked their mental this whole stage up until now. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just a weird vibe if someone on your team knows that you guys tried to drop him and then, like, oh, fuck, that fell through. I guess you can come play with us again. That's got to be a little awkward. And it's always in the back of Vivid's head.
Of course, yeah. That dynamic is stapled, until something is ironed out or they improve or another change is made. Yeah. So, but yeah. So we'll see how Dylan Rex can improve this team and how his debut looks this coming weekend. So getting into the last match of the weekend, we had LA Thieves versus Toronto Ultra. Definitely one of the best series of the weekend, as this goes all the way down to a map 5, and the Ultra take it. Ultra took map 1, 250-219. LA Thieves take it 6-4 in the search. Then they take it 3-2 in the vault. And then in good Neslo denying fashion, they take the map 4 and the map 5 for the side of Ultra to 3-2 the Thieves. No one really underperformed or overperformed in this series. It was just a bang out. Everyone had, Insight had the worst KD, but we know what to expect from him with a 0.82, and he was still putting down some good dammy, and they took the series. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, nothing really to call out for the side of Thieves other than on the map 1, Hydra made probably one of the most brain dead plays I've ever seen. It was probably 235 to 215 with about 8 seconds left on the P3 rotating to the Rock Hill. All of the Thieves, barring one who's probably either already on rotation or just died, they spawn in the back by the boathouse. 2 of his teammates start rotating to new. He goes up the stairs into office. Instead of cutting mid and cutting open or cutting mid and playing U or something, he goes flat, not only to like hold it or maybe kill the guy off hold and hold the guy off hold. He chows and tries to jump in at 7.5 seconds left and dies. And they lose numbers on rotation. And if he would have just gone top mid to open, he would have almost beat Kleenex to new, and he would have been pinching with his teammates who are rotating from both. So he made one of the most brain dead plays ever, and definitely, I don't want to say lost them that map because they were behind, but he lost them that rotation, which could have won them the map.
Yeah,
so,
damn.
That's really the only big point. Other than that, it was a pretty straight up series, and Toronto Ultra take it and go to 2-1.
I thought Ultra at some point it looked like they were about to lose the map for Skyline, and then Insight was getting absolutely shit on, but he popped a huge 2-piece, got him into P2.
Yeah, yep.
And then they ended up just getting the momentum and winning that map. And then Dealership, how do you feel about Dealership?
I like it, especially from a viewer's perspective. Honestly, I don't have any reps on it, but it's really fun to watch.
The car bombs,
these maps are bad.
The goddamn car bombs, bro, are bad on that map. Like there was a round in that map where it was just like RC cars flying at each other, 10 cars exploding, and the round was over in like 2 seconds. It was insane. Yeah, people getting killed on break off for like a chain car bomb.
Another moment from this series is on that map 5. There's a moment where there was cars out for each team. Envoy was hiding like in a corner and making his silence, and then both cars drive out at the same time, and there was a little game of Rocket League during this map 5, which was kind of funny. But we'll see. Toronto looking really good right now. I like it from a spectator standpoint for sure. But Toronto looking really good right now. They take down the Thieves. Octane was saying he's glad they lost because so far teams that went undefeated in the stage have not performed at the major. Tactical loss. But yeah, that's our weekend recap for the CDL matches. We're gonna tune in this next week here as we get closer to Major 4. So this should be the last week of matches before the next major, which is in.
I think there's a short break into the major.
Oh, it's Miami.
Yeah.
Miami is the next one. So it's Miami's home event. Kind of cheesy that I forget who threw the first one. Was it Toronto? They threw theirs in Spain for some reason. So Miami's kind of getting 2 events. So, that's some cheese.
Yeah, I think it's literally the following weekend after this weekend of matches.
Let's go. Let's go. So yeah, we'll be tuning into that.
Yeah, April 24th.
Let's go ahead and round out episode 61 with our coin segment pick and bans. All right, I'll go ahead and start us off. Y'all know the deal. Pick and ban something from recency and dwell on it. My pick, easy pick, easiest one I've ever done is Rory McIlroy winning the green jacket. As a longtime golf fan, that was one of the best finishes and great things to see as he becomes the 6th person all time to complete a career Grand Slam in golf.
Can you name
the
all
second
6?
One. I can.
Tiger?
From
Jack?
Recent to oldest, it is Rory, Tiger, Jack, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, and Gene Sarazen. Something like I forget how to pronounce his name, but those are the 6.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, super legendary thing to be a part of. It's been 10 years since he won his last major, 11 years since he won his last major. He won 3 of the 4 within his first 6 years on tour.
Yeah, I remember the prime Rory days.
He won 2 of them twice.
That's crazy.
So like, he's disgusting. And this has been a burden on him for so long that he can't win the final one, can't win the green jacket. And they came so close to doing it multiple times. Even,
he tried not to do it.
In 2011, he blew a 4-stroke lead.
He wanted to lose so bad this time.
He did, but he iced up. And he put himself in such a good position after Saturday that he could afford to do so. And not only did that allow him to fuck up, but Bryson also allowed him to fuck up by choking as well. Bryson choked way harder than Rory did, but Rory won. So, I think it made it that much better that he had the ups and downs throughout the round and 2 insane shots that will go down in the history books, and then having it go to a playoff, missing that 3-footer on 18 to win, to make it go to a playoff, and then absolutely shoving it on 18 and making the birdie to seal the deal. And also hats off to Justin Rose. He's pure class. Lost with such honor and still had that swag to him and put on a great round. But yeah, Rory is a elite going in the Hall of Fame, no question.
Yeah. Shout out Rory. My pick is John Gruden. I don't know if you saw, but John Gruden spoke to Wisconsin's football team. And yeah, this man needs to be back in a locker room coaching a team like ASAP. I mean, he gets so much joy from it. You can tell it's like putting an animal back in its natural habitat. And it's just like, thank you, you know? So,
man, I love football.
Yeah, you know, I'm into dreams, but I'm also into nightmares. And he's just fucking pumping this team up for the season. It was a great speech. I don't even think he cussed. It was just a clean,
I don't think so. Yeah,
fiery speech, man. And it got me fired up. So shout out John Gruden. Get that man coaching again. He needs to be coaching again. And we'll see if Wisconsin listens to his battle cry.
They're not.
Yeah, I know. It's still Wisconsin, but
yeah, it's still Wisconsin.
They might give Ohio State a game this year. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see, but probably not. Jeremiah Smith is just gonna, or Ryan Williams is just gonna.
No, that's the Bama guy. You had it.
Oh wait, I had it right.
Yeah.
So my ban is Weirdos in Apex Scrims.
Oh no.
So I've been scrimming and playing with the team for the Challenger circuit on Apex, just having some fun. And we do some scrims, 2 or 3 times a week, and some people in some servers, they'll have you drop over your POI, and like everyone has their own thing, and then some is like, pick your POI, like here's the sign up, pick your POI, but like people can still drop wherever they want. And so there's games where people will just give up their POI and land on us for some reason, and just grief our game at the start, and we just end up spectating for 25 minutes, and it's just a waste of our time, when they could just land. The scrims are supposed to be to practice the end game, and get to the late stages of the game and practice for those moments, because if you do what they're doing in the actual tournament, sure, you might get some good points and make it past the first round, but like that will not last. That will not get you far enough in the tournament, because you're just only going to play better and better players who are going to win those fights on you early, and that play style just won't work as the game gets later. You can't, and because they kept running at people. So they're just being weird and not playing for the right intentions, and it's just so whack.
Yeah,
but
bro, that's
scrims have been fun overall, but those guys are weird.
Yeah. There's always some weirdos, no matter what you play. There's always some rat bastards. Yeah. To wrap it up here, my ban is Travis Hunter. Who the fuck is he fooling? This man said if he isn't allowed to play both sides of the ball in the NFL, he'll never play football again. That's what he said. He'll quit forever.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, like, okay, bro. Shut up and line up at corner.
Yeah. To be fair, though, he could start streaming. He could stream.
Yeah, I guess.
He'd be fine.
I don't know.
Because he does
man.
now.
But he wouldn't make as much money as he'd make in the NFL. That's
hell
for sure.
No. Hell no.
So
hell no.
It's just like, bro, I'm so sick of these dudes, like, with their demands coming into the NFL. I don't care how good you are. And sure, he could probably play both sides of the ball, but if someone wants to make him an all-time corner, you're telling me this dude's just going to up and leave because he can't play both sides? Like, no, the fuck you won't. You'll shut the fuck up and play corner if they put you
better receivers than you, bro. Like,
yeah, he's not even that big. He's like Devontae Smith size.
Exactly. He might be a little bit taller.
Yeah,
that's it.
So, I don't know, man. I just thought that was funny. I was like, come on, bro. Nobody believes you.
Another ban on the topic of Colorado. Did you see what else they did?
Yeah, they retired Shadur.
They retired their... What are we fucking doing? You won 7 games?
They were 12-13. That was their final record together.
Like, oh my God. Yeah. We're retiring their jerseys purely off of popularity.
Yeah.
And draft selection.
Yeah, it's
not even that.
Insane.
That even happened yet. Mock draft selection. Like, we are faded. Like, that is insane. That is pure. What's the word when you're obsessed with yourself?
Narcissism.
That is pure narcissism from Deion Sanders, bro.
No, that
is
crazy.
Insane.
And someone tweeted Tim Tebow won 2 natties and the Heisman, and his jersey's not retired at Florida.
Yeah. That just shows what the level of expectation is at Colorado.
Yeah.
And for Deion's team, I guess. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That is insane.
That's ridiculous. But yeah, that'll be episode 61, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with episode 62 as we wrap up the online qualifiers for CDL. But as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as it does help the channel grow. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Doses.